Hello, and welcome back to the third episode of Pandemically Speaking, Thursday edition.
We have a great show in store for you guys today, but first, can someone grab me a blanket or something? It's so cold.
Well, you know it's that time of year in Wisconsin, the sweet spot right in between winter and spring. I like to call it hell.
Man, I wish I were somewhere warmer.
Beverly Hills, that's where I want to be.
Good reference. Big Weezer guy?
Well, I was maybe thinking about performing one of their songs at that open mic coming up.
Yes. NWTC's very first annual virtual open mic will take place on Wednesday, February 24th at 6:30 p.m. Not only are you invited to sing, play, and perform, but you can also tune in just to watch. Sign-up starts tomorrow and lasts till the 22nd.
Jacob, are you warming up yet?
A little.
Well, in this next episode of Fake News, maybe I can offer you some information about the cold weather. Hello, everyone. My name is James Bolton, the host of Fake News. Let's jump straight into this week's top stories. Our top story, it's cold. It is currently freezing outside and our heating is not working. That's why I'm wearing all of this right now. But not only at the Fake News studio located in Wisconsin are we experiencing winter weather. Southern states in the US, like Texas, are also seeing snow and ice. And even around the world, in Brazil, in Rio de Janeiro, it is currently snowing. Take a look at this. This is absolutely insane. But in other news, scientists have discovered a new variant of the COVID-19 disease. It is called the poo-poo pox. Man, I can't believe this stuff is real. This is like too ridiculous to believe. But it's called poo-poo pox due to the fact that it gives you brown colored spots all over your body, similar to the chicken pox. Our next story, Kenny G makes a baby cry. Now, you may remember Kenny G's recent Zoom call fiasco. Well, things have just not gotten better for him. A couple saw Kenny G in public and asked him to pose for a picture holding their 9-month-old baby. Well, once Kenny G started holding the baby started to cry. And that scared Kenny G, and which caused him to drop the baby, which then landed on its head. It is said that Kenny G will pay for damages in an out-of-court settlement. And now, for our final...
Hey, James, about your hot cocoa.
You're kind of interrupting the show, but okay, thanks.
Do you know what's up with the heat? I tried turning it up and then it just stopped working.
You tried turning it up and then it broke?
Yeah, weird, isn't it?
You're fired!
What? Why?
'Cause you broke the heating.
Are you for serious?
Yes, get out.
You know what? Good. I hated working here. Your breath stank, James. And you also need to shave more. And you never remember the script. We always got to do like 20 takes. Man, I'm out of here.
Deep breaths, James. Deep breath. Just gotta finish the show, and then you can get him blacklisted from the news industry. So, that'll wrap up this episode of Fake News. Thank you guys for watching, and have a nice day, y'all.
Hey, thanks, Ryan. Hearing about the South getting hit with such cold conditions reminded me that it can never be that cold. Being from Wisconsin, I'm simply built different.
Yeah, thanks, me. Looks like we'll keep you on the show for another episode, champ.
And now a word from our sponsors. All that shivering made me burn a lot of calories. I'm getting hungry now.
How serendipitous. It's time for midnight cooking.
Tonight we're going to make fish tacos. First, we're going to need to pour a tablespoon of olive oil on the baking tray. This will help prevent the fish from sticking to the tray once it's done baking. Secondly, open the package of tilapia and place 4 fillets on the tray. Next, we'll need to gather our ingredients for the rub. We'll need a tablespoon of chili powder, half a teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of paprika, half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of pepper, 1 teaspoon of oregano, and half a teaspoon of onion powder. Once we've mixed all the ingredients, it's time to start seasoning the fish. Make sure the fish gets covered evenly. This includes the opposite side as well. After this, it's ready to pop in the oven. Preheat the oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit and set the timer to 15 minutes. While we wait for the fish to finish baking, we'll begin working on the toppings. First, we'll need lettuce. You can either cut a full head, or you can be lazy like me and buy a bag of shredded iceberg lettuce. For the sake of time, I recommend you do this. After this, dice the tomato and then the onion. I recommend using cotija cheese as well. It's like Mexican Parmesan, but with a much milkier taste. Just be careful where you pull it apart, as it's pretty crumbly and might leave a mess. Another topping you might want to add is avocado. Just don't be like me and buy an old one. Unfortunately, I will go avocado-less for the remainder of the show. Finally, let's cut up some lime wedges to garnish our taco with. By the time we finish prepping our toppings, it's time to remove the fish from the oven. Grab some forks and begin shredding the fish. This should come easy, as tilapia is pretty easy to pull apart. Alright, so now that the meal is ready, heat up a shell and put together a taco to your liking. This might be a simple dish to make, but that doesn't mean you can't have fun with it. Feel free to do things differently from what I did, and pick toppings that suit your taste. This has been Midnight Cooking. Thanks for watching.
Those fish tacos look delicious. Did you know that tacos de pescado originated in Mexico?
Oh, they definitely tasted as good as they look. Speaking of Mexico, on Tuesday, February 23rd, we have a virtual global spotlight event about understanding Wisconsin's international trade with Brazil and Mexico. At 11:30, you can hear firsthand stories and learn about places around the world and in your community.
I'll have to look into that one. I love learning new things. Maybe Jonah and Noah can drop some knowledge this week in their 3rd episode of Record Report.
My name is Jonah,
And I'm Noah.
and this is Record Report.
Record report, record report, record report. We're having fun just like we do it for sport. It's the best show ever, you cannot retort. Even though episodes are kinda short. Record report is the best in the land. I said it in the song so you understand. Leave it to these boys to give you a hand. Suggesting some music, your taste will expand. Record report!
Welcome back to Record Report, where we show off some amazing albums that sound great on record vinyl and give you a brief little summary of why we think so. Now, Noah, what do you got for us today?
Well, this week, I have the classic album Black Sabbath by the band Black Sabbath. Now, this album is where it all began, with the classic lineup of Ozzy Osbourne on vocals, Tony Iommi on guitar, Geezer Butler on bass, and Bill Ward on the drums. This album, incredible. Recorded in one single studio take, You need to listen to this. The dark atmospheric sound of this is what eventually evolved into heavy metal. Get it? Some notable performances include the song Black Sabbath, NIB, and Wicked World. This album is just great, and if you are really into some hard rock or heavy metal, this is definitely an album for you. Sounds wonderful on vinyl, it's really old, it's great. Now, Jonah, what do you got for us this week?
For this week, I have The Magical Mystery Tour by the Beatles. Now, this is a little bit hard to explain of what exactly the Magical Mystery Tour is, but essentially, the Beatles came out with a movie called Magical Mysteries Tour, if you even want to call it a movie. It was about 50 minutes long, and I believe it came out in 1967.
I believe so.
67. And essentially, the album for this movie, the first half, side B, is actual songs from the movie itself. And the second side is just their singles from that same year, I believe. And a lot of the music on this is extremely weird, even for some of the Beatles. Like, it's kind of weird even for the Beatles standards. Some people love this album, some people hate it, some people think it was the first time the Beatles flopped. Some people absolutely love this, and I am one of those people who absolutely loves this album. Some of my favorite songs on this I could think of would have to be Strawberry Fields Forever, and of course, I Am the Walrus. Anyways, guys, this has been Record Report with Jonah and Noah. Tune in next time where we'll be showing you an odd couple of albums that sound great with a vinyl aesthetic.
See you next week. Adios.
Thank you for the culture, boys. I love my classic rock.
What makes rock classic?
Well, I mean, you have the Stratocaster, the jet black and slicked back hair, and of course the signature white t-shirt that every rock star has.
Funny that you mention it. I think this week Jack and Stasia are going to revamp some old white t-shirts in their third episode of Good Will Hunting.
Hello and welcome back to the third episode of Good Will Hunting.
This week we traveled to St. Vinny's on the east side to find and revamp some old white t-shirts.
In good thrifting fashion, Stasia and I had to take a look around the whole store before starting our challenge.
So sometimes I think I'm a little too good at these challenges, in that you tell me to find a white t-shirt and I will find every white t-shirt in the building. I tend to get a little overwhelmed when there are so many options. And by this point, I had so many shirts in my hand I began dropping them on the floor.
After watching Stasia touch every white shirt in St. Vinny's, it was finally my turn to go look. As I was looking for some white shirts of my own, it became apparent that I couldn't find a plain white shirt without any logos or designs on it, so I proposed a new idea. I think we need to get matching tees.
Clean mark. I liked Jack's proposal, so we went to embark on our new challenge, but first, we had to finish looking around.
Stasia came up with the idea of bleach dyeing our shirts, so we gathered our supplies and got the ball rolling. They fit.
I mean, Jack was low on saline solution, so I did him the favor of diluting it with some bleach. And then we began to fold.
I decided to roll up my shirt so it had a unique look that was slightly different than typical tie-dye designs.
Looking back at this challenge, I'd have to say that this part was probably the most interesting in that we were bleaching these shirts in extremely cold temperatures and the shirts actually started to steam.
After letting the shirts soak in the bleach for over an hour, we rinsed the shirts and then threw them into the wash.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. And before the end of the challenge, I wanted to add a quick alteration to make my shirt stand out just a little bit more. And here are the final products.
And as always, we had our castmates vote on which shirt was their favorite.
Although they aren't much different, here are the results.
And here are the results. Can I get a drum roll, please? The winner is Jack. Congrats, Jack. Your shirt did look drastically different.
And with that, here's a word from our sponsor.
And to close out the show this afternoon, we have the latest and greatest episode of Psychotically.
Hello, and welcome back to Psychotically. I'm your host, Bryce Cherney. We got new security guards and locks on our doors, and in this episode, we'll be talking to none other than Speedy Gonzalez, who has recently been trending, claiming to be God. Is he? Well, let's go find out. So, Speedy.
I prefer God.
Well, legally, your name is Speedy, so I'm gonna go with that. Anyways, you've recently been trending.
That's right. Your boy been bringing people together.
Right. So we actually have a picture from your recent religious protest. Can we actually throw that up on the screen? So this is the before, and this is the after. That doesn't really look like bringing people together.
They provoked me.
How?
They didn't believe.
That you were God.
You don't believe either?
Well, I'm having a hard time believing that our God starts riots.
What will it take to make you people believe?
Whoa. I don't know, man.
I got it.
What the?
The wine is my blood.
All right,
The blood is the
what
wine.
are you doing, man?
The wine is my blood. The blood is the
No
wine.
one's gonna help me.
The wine is my blood. The blood
Get
is
help.
the wine. The
What
wine
the-
is my
stop
blood.
it, stop
The blood
it.
is
You
the wine.
cut the
wine
camera.
is my
Cut
blood.
the
The blood
black,
is
stop.
God among men? That guy didn't look like Pat.
Well, thanks for tuning in this week. I'm Jacob.
And I'm Ryan. And this was Pandemically Speaking Thursday edition.